Welcome into Press Box Live, the Monday baseball chat. Stan the Fan Charles, Press Box, PressBoxOnline.com. Ross Grimsley is with us, the old left-hander, and of course, Luke Jackson, managing editor of PressBoxOnline.com. And we urge you, if you like what you're watching, what do you do? Like it, share it, and there was one other thing. John Colson will kill me. There's three things: like it, share it, and
Send
forward
us
it.
a check.
Send us a check. That's it. We're brought to you, as always, by the Costas Inn with two great locations: the old North Point Boulevard location, 4100 North Point Boulevard, and now at the Timonium Fairgrounds, right next to the OTB above the grandstand at the Timonium Racecourse. And also brought to you by Orkin Law. If you want results, if you've been injured in a crash in the Baltimore area, anywhere in Maryland, you call the best. 443 results. It's not just a phone number, it's a mission. 443 results. Or go to warnkenlaw.com, WARNKEN.com, Warnken Law. I make these openings a little bit longer now because it gives us less time to talk about the Orioles, Ross Grimsley. What do you make of the 10-13 Baltimore, 10-12 Baltimore
10 and
Orioles?
12, yeah. Don't give them another one yet. Don't give them another
Don't
loss.
get it yet.
Yeah, no. I tell you, like we were talking earlier, I watch the games, most of it that I can stand, but yeah, it's just they're going through a tough time. I mean, they got a lot of problems. What's really concerning is defensively they throw the wrong base. They don't. Rogers didn't cover first. He made a mistake by going after a ball he shouldn't have ever went after, and got a late throw and try to find the bag, and that's a recipe for disaster. It never works. But
Yep.
and then not knowing where to throw the ball, from the outfield. The outfield has been a really a mixed bag of laughs, basically. But Alexander, you put him out, great arm, throws really well, but he just doesn't know where it's going. He tried to throw a guy out the plate, I think in the third inning, and was up the third baseline by about halfway, no chance. But the throw beat the runner, but and then it gives the runner that was at first a chance to go to second. So you just little things like that, and you just kind of scratch your head, going, "What? They should know this."
How
And
much?
I
How
hope.
much? How much of this? And I'll ask Luke to get him involved here. Luke, how much of manager Craig Albernaz's moving things around is just frustration watching some of his hitters, like watching Mayo and Hauser. It's just really hard as a manager. And I'm not expecting him to throw them under the bus. This is the hand he's been dealt. But so he's not going to play Hauser every day. So he puts Alexander, and then he gets burned by a couple of questionable defensive plays. I don't know that Hauser would have caught that ball that went over his head, over Alexander's head. But I sense that some of his lineup changes are just he can't keep watching the same things happening with his hitters.
Well, yeah, well, I think he's trying to find the right mix defensively, first and foremost, and there just aren't that many really good defenders on the list
On
of
this
position
team.
players.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I think Alexander is a really good infielder.
Yeah.
I think he can play third and second at a high level. Yesterday, center field was a little bit of a challenge for him, as Ross described, but he does have good defensive tools. I think Gunner at this point, uh, particularly shows it, particularly on balls moving to his left, might be more suited for third base sooner than we thought. That's what it looks like to me so far, just in terms of his range. I think Jackson has been okay at second. He's had some really good moments at second, and then prior to his home run on Friday, he had a not so good moment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Alonso has been better than advertised at first base. I think Basayo gets a little sloppy behind home plate, particularly when he starts 3 or 4 games in a row. And then Ross was mentioning the issues they've had in the corner outfield. So I think first and foremost, you're trying to find a defensive mix that works. And because if you don't have a defense who can play clean behind your starting pitcher, that starting pitcher is going to rack up way more pitches than he should in the time that in a short period of time. So it's like they've got a lot of injuries right now, but that's been the case for almost 2 full years at this point. Like that's become a feature, not a bug.
Yeah. Uh, what happened, Ross? Was there a miscommunication? Did you see the big home run that who hit the home run? Was it one of Ramirez's home runs? Was there
I think it was might have been Rocchio. You're talking about the one on Kramer, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that was the Saturday. I think Rocchio was hitting. It was the ninth place hitter, and I know exactly what you're talking about. Where Sammy was trying to get Kramer to step off. Kramer didn't
right.
see him, and he fired the fastball after a bunch of splitters. Yeah, I mean, Dino was facing I think 8 left-handed hitters and was throwing. I think more than half his pitches were splitters
Yeah.
in that game, and then he got burned on a fastball.
Yeah. I mean, you see it. I mean, we're sitting there watching these games, and there'll be they'll throw 2 fastballs by a guy and then try to get him out with a breaking ball and hang it. Somebody will knock the crap out of it. And the same thing, splitters. I mean, once a guy shows you he can't hit something, I mean, keep going, especially with guys. If anybody's on base, go at it and put them away. I mean, these hitters now in this day and age have so many holes, and they're trying to hit the ball 500 feet every time they come up. God, if they show you a weakness, just go at it because they'll get themselves out. But that's not the case here, and they second guess
How
themselves.
come how come some of our hitters don't just try and put bat on ball?
No, they're swinging for the seats, man. It's mind blowing. I mean, I think they're fifth with most strikeouts,
It's
and yeah, I
fourth.
think,
They've got the
huh?
fourth most strike. They're
Fourth or
there's three
fifth, yeah.
teams worse than them with more.
Yeah, which is mind-boggling. But
Yeah.
I mean, they can be pitched to. I mean, it's just you watch some of the games, and it's I mean, there's not much of a
Yeah,
uh,
I mean Ross. I mean,
you
for
know,
so many of these guys, whether it's Cowser, whether it's Basayo, whether it's whoever, the book on them is just don't throw them fastballs, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
there's not much of a two-strike approach up and down the lineup, and there's not
Oh
much of an
no,
approach to use the big part of the field with runners in scoring position, or even if you've got a runner on third with one out and a ground ball gets the run home,
they don't.
there's no real approach to that either.
I
So
think they're hitting
there's
220
not
or
a
something like that with
there's
runners in
not
scoring
there's not a whole
position.
lot of fundamental baseball being played
No,
defensively or with the bats, and that's something that has been the case for quite a while with this team, and it's frustrating to watch. And I mean, it is what it is. We all see it. I mean,
well, yeah, and you know what? It's something that they had to know going into the season that you
particularly the
weren't going to.
defensive part, they had to know that it wasn't going to be a great defensive team.
No,
And honestly, it's even been a little worse than I thought it would be.
yeah. Well, I mean, the guys in the outfield are. I mean, they can only do so much.
Yeah, right now, I
It,
mean, like I said before, I mean, you can only complain about injuries so much when it's been a recurring thing for it's close to 24 months at this point that they've
yeah.
got key guys out left and right. That I mean, what's the old saying that availability is a skill as well. It's like a six tool, whatever that saying is. Well, they have a lot of guys who don't really excel in that six tool. And
Yeah.
that's part of their
Which
story.
is
That's part of the story. It has to
yeah,
be.
Yeah.
yeah.
Ross, any concern after these last look? Nobody here among the three of us or any smart baseball person thought that Trevor Rogers was going to come out and throw to a 1.80 earned run
Yeah,
average.
really.
Right.
I thought
Right.
there'd be a regression. And I said if he wins 14, 15 games and tosses a 3.4, 3.5, I'd be very happy. Any real concerns about his more than anything wrong with his stuff? This is a guy who clearly had some confidence issues a couple years ago. Do you have any worries about him lapsing into a lack of confidence?
Yeah, he had 18 starts last year and was
Yep,
phenomenal.
yep,
He's had 5 this year, and
yeah,
he's
and
had
three of them were very good. Three of them were
exactly.
good.
So I mean,
Yeah,
you go through times like this, and you look at he did give up some hard hit balls, that were up in the strike zone where he can't pitch unless he sets hitters up for that ball up, up neck high to get them to chase. But they hit some off-speed pitches that were pretty good pitches that they flared over the infield. But I mean, he's a guy he didn't hit his spots like he normally does yesterday for whatever reason. But he is what he is. He's not an overpowering guy. He has to throw strikes. He has to hit his spots. He has to change speeds, and he wasn't hitting his spots yesterday. Actually, the last couple outings, he's had a little bit of a problem.
Yeah,
I
I would
wouldn't say
agree
I
with
wouldn't even say it's a problem. It's just he just wasn't doing it for
you.
whatever
Right.
reason.
In a little bit of a rut right now, but even in the two previous starts, he's had a few innings where it's like, okay, there it is. Like there's the good Trevor Rogers. I thought, and I don't know if you saw his start against the Diamondbacks.
I, th- I,
I
I,
About
did.
6 days
I
ago,
did.
7 days
Yeah.
ago.
yeah,
I thought in the fifth inning when he gave up all his runs, though he was rushing through his delivery a little bit.
right, yeah, yeah,
And then yesterday, I just didn't think he had a great fastball. He was like 90 to 91 for most of that outing. And I mean, look, last year he was pretty fortunate to have the results that he got. I'm just trying to be straight facts here. His home run to fly ball rate was ludicrously low, and that was not going to be the case. And this year, more fly balls are leaving the park on him, and that was
yeah.
always going to happen. And then the strand rate was really high last year, and that hasn't
Yeah,
been the case
everything
this
went
year.
right for him
Everything
last
went
year.
right for him. It's a
Yeah.
shame that that season was wasted on that team.
I just worry about a guy, and I like his honesty, and I like Trevor.
He
But
was like a great kid.
a guy that was talking about like retiring, that he thought it might be over, to suddenly meet some failure again. You wonder what's in that gas tank on the confidence level. That's my only concern.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah.
if you go ahead, Ross.
Yeah,
Go
you,
ahead,
you
Rob.
hope he learns from it. I mean,
Yeah.
you learn from. Baseball's a tough game because there's a lot of failure in it, and you got to learn from it. And I think going through what he went years ago really helped him out. And then last year, big time. He's a guy that's going to win 12 to 15 games,
Yeah.
and you got to be happy with that. The way he throws. Now, you take a team that's not playing defense and not scoring runs.
You mean like the
You
Orioles?
Exactly. I mean, it's going to be you're going to have to throw zeros up a lot, and if you do that, you might get out with a no decision. So I
Well,
mean, he just
Ross,
got to go out.
how does that impact a pitcher when he suddenly knows he's got to be perfect, that his team is not pressing the ball in a way that they're going to score runs? Does
Yeah,
that
but
put more pressure on a starting pitcher, or
it it,
he's
it
got to be
can.
above that? He's got to be
Well, I
above
mean,
that.
it can. You start trying to do stuff that you normally don't do. That's just like with him, Rogers going after that ground ball that he was got
Okay, so
tangled
let
up.
me ask you about that, Ross, for a minute. So I'm sure you heard Ben McDonald on the broadcast discussing what a
Yeah,
pitcher is supposed to do on that type of PFT.
right,
He
right.
was saying to first angle below the bag toward the foul line, right?
Well,
And then
if you
take
have
it.
time to do that.
Okay, so explain what Ben was getting at and what
You
Rogers
want to
should do.
go, you kind of want to go over to the cut of the grass and then go up to the base. The
Hmm.
whole idea is for the infielder, first or second base, usually the first base, to get the ball to you before you get to the bag.
Okay, so you can
Because,
catch it and then run to the bag.
and then see, yeah. So the sooner you can get that, Rogers' mistake was that he went for the ball and he
See,
Okay.
had no
I
chance.
didn't see it that way. I just
Uh,
thought that he was rushing to get there because it was a long throw for Alonso to make. and Alonso gave him a good throw. I think he just got ahead of the bag. That's all.
And upon replay,
Well,
the easier Jeremiah Jackson did have a play on that ball, and the easiest play would
yeah.
have been. But I guess as a first baseman, you're taught if you can go get that ball, go get it. But
Go for it. Again, if you know your pitcher, being left-handed with a lot with you're going to fall sometimes to your third base side.
Right.
that's another thing.
So
So
then you gotta, I mean,
all right. So what's the difficulty? Just geometry at this point. If you're
yeah,
left-handed and you're falling off toward the third base side, how much more difficult is it to?
It's to rush to the bag,
Yeah.
and he was
well,
rushing to the bag.
what's the first thing you do when the ball is hit? If you're going to the third base side,
Hmm.
you fall off and the ball is hit. What's the first thing you do? You do this.
Run to first base. Yeah.
No, you look in
Uh-huh.
most cases. Then you turn around and run to first. And that's that you don't have that, even though it was a slow runner, but he turned and went, with no angle at all. He went directly to the bag, and then Alonso threw him a volleyball, and now he's trying to catch the ball and look for the base at the same
Yeah.
time. He was done.
You
He
know
was
who
done.
fell off to the third base side like dramatically was Danny Kalum. And sometimes he was a really tough look on left-handed hitters.
Yeah,
Sometimes they would just lay a bunt down, like a drag bunt down, and he was so out of position that it didn't even
sure.
need to be a fast runner.
Right,
You
right.
know?
I mean,
That was and that's like, the thing was that was his deception. That was his game. And so that's
I'll tell you one
hey,
of the things that they don't work on that is, I mean, they say they do, but they don't. They don't work as much on those situations. In the minor leagues, you've got that opportunity to do it, and you should do it in the big leagues because these guys fundamentally, obviously, watching games, not only the Orioles but all over baseball.
but
I
they've
mean,
got, I mean, Ross, I believe it's 5 instances so far this year where a pitcher has screwed up a PFP, like
sure.
day one spring training stuff. And I
Oh
believe
yeah,
in two or three of those instances, those were a big part of losses.
right. I mean,
And
it's
I
yeah,
mean, and yesterday, I mean, Albert has talked about it after the game. I mean, that really kind of set off like a little avalanche effect, snowball
sure.
effect on his pitch count. And like the next guy singles, now you're in a big situation. You got to try to make a pitch to get out of it, get a ground. And so it sort of spiraled on him. And of course, when you're not scoring runs, the other thing is that these starting pitchers really haven't been afforded the opportunity to pitch from in front very much
No,
because this
no.
offense is taking like 7 or 8 innings to get going. And so each game it feels like they're playing from behind.
I think the first 3 innings they the lowest amount of runs scored in
It
baseball.
feels like it's 9 up, 9 down the first time through the order.
Well, yeah, I
It's a
mean
tough way to play. You know,
but yeah, I mean
Well,
it always
I
helps
will say
when
this.
you got a
I
lead.
will say this about them, that the Indians, that is one good pitching team.
oh, their
Oh
starting
yeah,
pitchers are really, really good, and
Yeah. I
they've
mean,
got maybe
Bybee,
the
Williams, Messick, and Keogh
it's
is
big
going to
time
be a good
stuff,
pitcher.
and they have an
Yeah.
idea how to pitch and how to execute.
Yeah.
And that it wasn't always the case for a
So
couple of those guys in that rotation. Like Gavin Williams a couple years ago was just a
he's
thrower.
struggling. He's
He was a
struggling. Yeah.
thrower. I mean, and now he's a pitcher. And like they do a really good job identifying pitchers with big time stuff and turning them into pitchers.
Ross,
And
what
yeah,
I've suddenly got a couple people, and I'm not talking about media people or people that I consider incredibly bright baseball people that but they're avid Oriole fans, and they're complaining to me about Drew French all of a sudden. You know,
yeah.
these pitchers, can you tell whether French is a decent pitching coach or not? From
I have
everything
no
I
yeah.
know, from everything I know, he is.
I haven't heard anything. Talking with Scotty McGregor because he spent time here. I mean, I haven't heard anything negative about him.
Yeah,
So I mean, I tell you, whatever he told Foster after the bases were loaded the other day, yesterday,
yeah.
and I like this guy's arm. He's got a pretty good arm, and
You know who
he's
he
more of a
reminds me of, uh, Luke? He reminds me of Evan Phillips a little bit,
oh
Foster.
oh,
yeah,
Cam Foster. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got a
Yeah.
good kid. He's got a good arm.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I would say, through 3 or 4 weeks, whatever it's been, the best part of this team has been the
Some of
arms,
these
the
bullpen.
arms that they've developed to close out wins.
Yeah.
And so Helsley's been really good. Obviously, he was a free agent import. But Anthony Nunez, Grand Slam aside, has looked really good. Grant Wolfram has looked really solid. Cano looks back in form, and they've got to keep him that way. They can't overuse him.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
And
been
Garcia's looked great.
Garcia has been
Garcia.
one of the best relief pitchers in baseball.
Yeah.
And the other thing I would say about like hammering on pitching coaches or hitting coaches, and Ross knows this, for a lot of these big leaguers, the work is done with their personal coaches in the offseason. And like now, major league hitting coaches or major league pitching coaches are more psychiatrists than anything else, right?
Yeah, really. It's amazing how the hitters, they got their own guys they go to, and it really makes it tough as a coach. Uh, what you believe in, and maybe this guy he's going to in the off season or even talking to during the season, don't gel with what they want you to do, the organization or the staff wants you to do. So that makes it kind of tough. But as far as French, I don't. I know nothing about him, and I've heard nothing negative.
Bad about it. Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
no. I mean,
And
it's
I mean, and look, I mean, their best looking starting pitcher in spring training was Zach Eflin, and he blew out 70 pitches in.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know,
well, there's a reason you got to well, why are these guys getting hurt? Why are these guys not hitting? They knew what the defense was going to be. They knew that was not going to be the sharpest thing, and that's going to affect your pitching.
Well,
Yeah,
in fairness to the Orioles, as I wrote in my power rankings today, there's 6 clubs that I identified as in danger of being the 2025 Orioles. The Astros,
Mhm.
the Phillies, the Blue Jays, the Mets, Kansas City, and I'm leaving one team out, Luke.
Oh,
Um, can't
let's-
remember them right now, but
all right.
there's 6 teams.
Do you want to take a break and then we could talk about those 6 teams when we come back?
Yeah, we can talk about that. We can also talk about what Ross saw out of Dean Kramer in his first start because it was a mostly positive outing thrown in with one bad pitch. Uh, let's get our thumbs ready to go.
Thumbs are up.
Thumbs are up. All
When I
right.
see
Not
Ross
talking
Grimsley,
about the we're not
there
talking
you
about the Orioles right now. We're talking about
yeah.
our friends at the Costas Inn. The Orioles would be kind of like this, right now. But the Costas Inn's always like this. All right. Costas Inn. 2 great locations around Baltimore. One at 4100 North Point Boulevard. That's the one if you're interested in skiing crabs this spring and summer or any time of year. The Costas Inn on North Point Boulevard. Take this phone number down 410 477 1975. My friend Nick will line you up with the size you want. Make sure they're available and match the price point you folks can afford. But if you're having a crab feast, the Costas Inn, North Point Boulevard. If you want anything else on the menu, except maybe the pork chops, go to the Costas Inn. We're going to laugh about that every week, Ross.
I'm
I'll
getting
tell
them.
you.
I'm gonna have them. I have to bring them myself. We're gonna have them.
All right.
Last time I was there,
Anyway,
I had the pit beef. It was very good.
yeah. Well, they've got the same menu that they have out at North Point Boulevard. The Costas Inn at Timonium. Both locations open for lunch and dinner. And now, in case you've tried to get there before and said, where the hell is Stan telling me that the Costas Inn is on Timonium Road? Big sign there in front of the fairgrounds with Costas Inn on it. You can't miss it. Lunch and dinner at the Costas Inn. You'll thank us later. Um, let's before we get into those 6 teams, and I got to remember the 16,
I
but there
have the
were
six
six.
teams right here.
What's that?
I have the 6 teams right here.
You do? All
Yeah,
right,
it's
but before we do
okay.
that, let's just ask Ross what he thought of Dean Kramer. Back from the dead, so to speak. from his optioning to Norfolk, and I thought he looked very good.
I tell you what really looked good was his off speed stuff, his little split change or whatever that is. And he throws that. He's got a really good arm speed on it, and it looks like a fastball coming out, and the bottom falls out. And he made some guys look quite foolish at times, and then made a mistake with a fastball, and got it in the wrong part of the plate. But overall, here's a guy that's going to give you innings. He's going to give you some really outstanding starts at times. But I mean, he's somebody that I think is really important to a team. It saves the bullpen at times. And he's going to go out and give you a pretty good start sometimes, and he's going to take his lumps at times. But I tell you, with that off speed split change thing
Yeah,
he's
he
got,
handled the left-handers pretty
that
good with that.
yes, and that
Yeah.
is really good to see. And he's been steadily improving, I think, over the years each time because he's learned a little bit more.
Jim Henneman was a big Dean Kramer fan, right,
Yeah,
Luke?
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
liked him. You know what's crazy? He's 30 years old now,
Crazy.
and it's just crazy. He was traded for in the middle of the 18th season,
Mm-hmm.
correct?
Mm-hmm.
We acquired him from the Dodgers, so he's been here a long time. Dean Kramer.
That
Um,
makes him no, he's close to the longest tenured Oriole on this
yeah,
team at this point.
Mountcastle. No, Mountcastle wasn't.
So
They
yeah,
both made it up
Mountcastle
in.
is the longest tenured organization guy because he was
Yeah,
drafted in 15, and
right.
then Dean and Mountcastle came up in the middle of 2020. Same thing
20.
with Aiken.
Yeah,
So those guys are
those three
the same.
guys are the
Yeah.
gray beards on the team. Luke, what are those six teams that I wrote about?
Okay. Phillies, Astros, Mets, Blue Jays, Royals, and Red Sox.
Red Sox.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'd say their seasons to date, and I don't put the Orioles in that category just yet. I think the Orioles are going to weather this storm. But you take a team like the Mets, 11 losses in a row, and they're kind of rudderless right now. Bichette is not panning out that great so far. Um, the starting pitching has been up and down. They found a way to lose a game with Devin Williams on the mound yesterday. Are they a club, Luke, that's in danger of falling out before
Well,
you?
they've got an off day today,
Yep,
and there was some thought that maybe this would be a time to can Mendoza. That hasn't happened to this point.
right.
Their next 18 games are pretty manageable in terms of, if you're looking at the expectations of the Mets coming into the season, this
Hmm.
would have looked like a manageable stretch. So maybe they give Mendoza uh, a look during this
Half of the
stretch to
stretch,
see.
half the
And
stretch.
also, Soto will come back, I think, by the end of the week. And really, without Soto, they haven't scored any runs. They
Yeah,
haven't been hitting at all. And I mean, if you take him out of that lineup, I mean, that's a black hole now that they don't have anybody else who can fill that
yeah.
role. Um, yeah, I mean, if you look at the history of teams that have lost 11 in a row, it's
There's
not
not a
kind.
lot of them going
There's
to
not
win
a
a
lot
World
of
Series.
World Series winners that won 11,
Oh,
excuse me, lost
no.
11 in a row at any point in
Right,
the season.
right.
Um, doesn't mean you can't have a tough stretch, but this has been brutal for them. They just can't score any runs. The pitching has been okay,
Yeah.
but they just can't. I mean, during this 11 game losing streak, they have not
Yeah, I
hit at
think
all.
Brandon Nemo's hitting pretty well for Texas.
It's been a nice change of scenery for him.
But they acquired Marcus Simeon, who was clearly on the downward spiral of his offensive game,
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
batting
I
about
think Texas
190.
got his last really good offensive season either in 23 or 24, and
Yeah,
they hit the eject button at the right time.
yeah, yeah. Of those six teams, Ross, do any of them strike you as they're almost in the spiral that the Orioles went into last year? Partly injuries, partly poor decisions, partly poor performance.
I think it's amazing how many of these teams aren't scoring runs.
Yeah.
That's kind of well, and a lot of every year they, it seems like break a record with strikeouts. And I think that the approach, and I think baseball wants to see guys swing for the fences and hit home runs, and moving the runner over or getting a runner in from third base is just not what they think that the people want to see. So they're kind of eliminating the way the game should be played, and I mean, everybody's scratching their heads. I was looking at, there's only 4 teams in the American League that are over 500,
Right.
and there's only 9 teams in the National League. There's 13 teams out of 30 that are over 500, and you kind of
Yeah.
scratch your head,
Yeah,
But
I mean, there are a
But
few teams that are playing really.
these are 6 teams that everybody had in the playoffs. I
yeah,
mean,
Yeah,
a
and
lot of
it's
people were
yeah,
saying Toronto, Boston was one of my early season favorites.
right.
The Kansas City, I thought was a good club. We're going to see them the next 3 days out there. So,
They're not scoring any runs. As a matter
I
of
mean,
fact, they've scored the fewest.
Houston's been decimated with pitching injuries.
yeah. Houston actually has scored a lot of runs, right? And it's the pitching that just hasn't held up because of injury, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
Um, but I mean, the Blue Jays have been hit hard by injuries as well. I have reason to believe that they'll figure it out at some point. The Royals are another team that just has not hit at all, and we'll see what happens this week
I mean,
against
Bobby
the
Witt's
Orioles.
hitting like 250 or
Well,
Yeah.
255.
and they brought the fences in
Yeah,
10 feet all the way around, and it hasn't helped.
yeah.
I mean, the ball doesn't carry well there regardless. And I'm sure they've been hitting in some bad weather in Kansas City so far. I think the Red Sox will be okay. They won today to get to 9-13. And the Phillies are another team that has
I
not.
think they're
Yeah.
on the downward cycle.
Who?
The Phillies.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you watch them so far, the first 3 weeks, it looks like they aged about 10 years over one off season. They look old. I mean, honestly. And they're trying to mix in some younger guys like J.P. Crawford,
Right.
who may or may not be ready at this point, and then Andrew Painter in the rotation. Uh, I don't. Not to be too reactive at this point, but I really like the Braves in that division with how they look right now. I
Yep.
think
And they're getting
they
Spencer
might win that
Strider
division by
back.
15 games. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who are they getting back?
They're getting Strider back
Oh,
in the
right.
next like week or 10 days. Yeah.
Well, he'll help. I don't
Yeah.
know if he has the same high end velocity he wants to, but he'll
Yeah.
help.
Yeah. Um, it's a tricky thing early in the season because I remember last year. I mean, Luke, you and I talk on almost a daily basis because of our editorial relationship, but we talk baseball a lot. I kept thinking that the Orioles were going to somehow put it together last year, and it just I looked at it, they were 10-17, and then they won 3 out of 4 games to
Mhm.
go 13-18. And then I said, I think it's happening. They went 2-14. And I'll bet you one of these 6 teams, one or two of them, will go on maybe not 2-14, but will play themselves
Mhm.
out of the race this
And
early.
and that'll get their manager fired probably.
Probably. Yeah.
You know, and it's funny that you mentioned that because after that 2-14 stretch, the Orioles played okay,
Yeah.
uh, but it was just too late.
It was too
They
late.
had played too poorly for too long. They played
Yeah.
so poorly for like 7 weeks that it just nothing mattered after that.
Well, hopefully the Orioles tonight will put it together. The manager has
I'm just really looking forward to a clean baseball game, Grims. Like a
It'll be
clean
exciting
defensive
if they
game.
do.
A guy on third, one out, infield playing back, ground ball to short, gets the run home. Like
Really.
that's the kind of this team is making me long for the simple stuff.
And that's amazing what it will do, for the whole group, if they get something like that. But again, I mean, get a lead early one time. They
How
haven't
about
had
it?
an early lead, and that
I'm not
that
saying you
takes
can't hit home runs. If you want to hit some home
right.
runs in
No,
the
it
first
doesn't matter
inning,
how
go
you
ahead.
score early. Just score some runs, get the pitcher a lead.
we're
Which would be
facing
something different.
we're facing Seth Lugo tonight with this lineup: Henderson, Ward, Beavers, the DH, batting third. Alonso fourth. Basayo fifth. Jackson sixth. Hauser in right field, batting seventh. Tavares in center. Alexander at third base. Kansas City counters against Kyle Bradish with Miguel Garcia at third, Witt at short, Pasquantini at first, Perez the DH, Carter Jensen the catcher, Michael Massey at second base, Caglione in right, Isaac Collins in left, Kyle Isbell in center field. Game time at 7:40 on Masson. It's the first of three out in Kansas City, two night games, and then a Wednesday getaway before the Orioles return home against the Boston Red Sox. I think that's going to do it for today, guys. I thank Ross Grimsley and I thank Luke Jackson. And we, of course, thank the Costas Inn and we thank our friends at Warnken Law, 443 Results or warnkenlaw.com. That's going to do it for today. I'm Stan the Fan. Over and out. Talk to you soon. Bye.